Today on Monkey Life, we're in Vietnam to rescue two rare pygmy loris stolen from the forest.
It's daylight, they're awake and they should be sleeping.
But a health check gives cause for concern.
At the moment, we're kind of hoping for a miracle. Otherwise, she's not going to make it back in the wild.
Plus, family planning for golden-cheeked gibbon, Binh.
This is going to help her for her next step.
This is Dao Tien Rescue Centre in Vietnam. It's the sister sanctuary of Monkey World in Dorset, and the staff here dedicate their lives to rescuing and rehabilitating endangered Vietnamese primates.
It's a new forest with a new family group of gibbons coming, and hopefully everybody will grow up and mature together.
It's a 6,000-mile journey from the UK to the centre, which lies 160 miles northeast of the capital, Ho Chi Minh City. Vietnam in Southeast Asia is a densely populated country. An estimated 90 million inhabitants are crammed into this small country. But outside of the noise and bustle of the cities, it's a different story. It's one of the world's richest agricultural regions, and rice fields are abundant. Vietnam is the world's 7th largest consumer of rice, the staple diet of its people. But like many countries, Vietnam struggles with the illegal trade in wildlife. Poaching and smuggling are common, and the law is difficult to enforce. And this is where Dao Tien comes in. It's an island in the Dong Nai province, set up with the full cooperation of the Vietnamese government in 2008 to protect some of the country's most endangered species, including golden-cheeked gibbons, black-shanked Duke langurs, and pygmy loris, a tiny nocturnal primate. But unlike Monkey World, Dao Tien is not designed to provide a home for them for the rest of their lives.
The goal of Dao Tien is to support the Vietnamese government to rescue primates, increase the capacity for primate care, bring the primate care to an international standard, and then develop protocols to get these individuals back into the forests for them to survive and to contribute to wild conservation by going out there and having babies and breeding.
Dao Tien is a 56-hectare island. At its centre are the recently rescued, or Phase 1 animals. Here there are assessment units for the loris and gibbons where staff can check their health, socialise them and increase their weight and strength before they go into the larger forested areas. These form Phase 2, and there are 4 such regions on the island. This is where the gibbons go to gain true fitness before hopefully being released into the wild. At present, the centre is home to 30 gibbons and 27 loris. But today, that number is set to increase. The manager of Dao Tien is Lee Butler, who previously worked at Monkey World. He's just received a phone call from a local man on the mainland who wants to surrender 2 pygmy loris. He's been keeping them as pets, but after a neighbour's animals were seized, realised it wasn't allowed.
He heard of the confiscation and basically realised he'd got 2 pygmy loris illegally and he wanted to donate to the island. So that's where we're off to now.
In Vietnam, loris are primarily hunted for the pet trade, but also for traditional medicine, and even to be shown off as tourist attractions.
Xin chào, khỏe không?
Khỏe.
Tốt, tốt. Very well. Very well, OK.
But in recent years, the Vietnamese government has become more proactive in clamping down on this illegal trade. They're enforcing the law and making more confiscations. Poachers are being given large fines and even jail sentences as a deterrent.
I don't know much about the loris that we're collecting. Don't know how old they are, what condition they're in. So when we get there, we'll speak to the chap, see when he got them, see what diet he's had them on. But hopefully with the health checks and looking at dental issues, we should be able to estimate hopefully an age for them.
But when they arrive at their destination, Lee's not happy with what he finds. The loris are in a tiny cage in broad daylight with no shelter from the sun.
Just simply, we've got to do it as quick as possible, keep the stress levels down, get them into somewhere nice, dark. It's daylight, they're awake, and they should be sleeping.
Loris are nocturnal animals. During the daytime, they should be asleep in tree hollows.
Not there.
Lee has brought 2 separate boxes, one for each loris, and stuffed them with large leaves. This will keep them cool, but more importantly, keep them in the dark.
Got them into the cage, they went straight into it. It's dark, it's secluded. It should keep them nice and calm. So a little bit wet on their bodies, but, you know, let's get back them to Dao Tien now. We can get them into a cage, get them settled down, and then when the vets turn up, we can start doing our health checks.
Mr. Viet, Dao Tien's Vietnamese manager and a forest ranger in Cat Tien National Park, has accompanied Lee. He makes sure everything's in order and the paperwork transferring ownership signed.
Bao nhiêu tháng vậy đây?
3 months.
3 months.
Yes,
Okay. So that they've been here 3 months, caught in the wild from a farm. So yeah, let's get them back to Dao Tien and start the rehabilitation process.
Back at Dao Tien, staff are preparing for the new arrivals. Malnourished loris cannot be released into the wild as they wouldn't survive, so their diets are managed very carefully. It's recently been discovered that tree gum gives them all the minerals they need and lots of nutrients. So the team are preparing logs stuffed with gum.
They don't particularly like eating banana every day, which is what happens sadly in the pet trade. They like tree gum. They gouge into trees and eat the gum, and it's really, really sticky. So nature, being wonderful, has evolved a small secondary tongue underneath the main one, and they use this like a toothbrush, so they actually can clean their teeth on the go. Perfect.
Lee is heading back to the island with the 2 rescued pygmy loris. For the time being, they're going into a temporary rehabilitation cage until the vet arrives to perform their health checks. Lee wants them relaxed and calm following the journey so they can get used to their new surroundings. These 2 need to get into a routine. Only when it starts to get dark will Lee give them food and insects to eat. The second loris clearly has a problem with its right eye, which will need to be checked by the vet later on.
They came out relatively quick, quite surprised to be honest, but the conditions that we got them from, they're awake anyway, so it's all new, it's all happening, you know, so it's just about now feeding them tonight, monitoring their food intake, gum and insects, and then see where we are over the next week or 2.
Nighttime on Dao Tien. And normally the only things stirring in the forest are insects and reptiles. But work goes on for the team, and Lee and the staff are making the first of 3 trips out this evening. It's at night that pygmy loris are wide awake. In the wild, it's their eating and foraging time, so the team stagger insect and gum feeds for them to mimic natural behaviour.
You got yours?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so if you do yours,
Yeah.
then I'll do the main cage and those 4 Claire, Vang, and the 2 new guys from the Teo. OK?
Yeah.
Thank you. What we're giving now is a bit of fruit, bit of vegetable, a bit of nectar, and some gum. So we're sort of all doing that now. Then later on, we'll come back out about 9 o'clock, do an insect feed, and then come back about 2 o'clock in the morning and do the final insect feed. So it's a sort of all-night thing, but we do that. We do it twice a week because we actually employ someone to do it for us, but obviously they need time off.
Their diet is tailored to what they would eat in the wild. Gum is full of the vitamins and nutrients they need to survive, and it's important that the routine they learn now will help them once released. Loris have adapted over time to the demands of the forest. They have a thick coat with sensory hairs that enable them to judge spaces, important at night, high in the tree canopy. Their eyes have adapted so they can see better in the dark, and they've developed defences against predators as well. They have glands on the inside of their elbow that secrete a rather nasty toxin that the loris lick. They only weigh 350 grams, and this toxin is one way of protecting themselves. The final loris needing feeding tonight are the 2 that were rescued earlier in the day. Until their health checks, the sex of these 2 is unknown, so the staff have been unable to name them. But like all loris, they're at their best at night and are making the most of what Lee has to offer. Since Monkey World's sister sanctuary Dao Tien opened 8 years ago, the team has managed to rescue, rehabilitate and release into the wild more than 20 pygmy loris, 4 black-shanked douglangers and 8 golden-cheeked gibbons. Dao Tien is very much a halfway house for the gibbons. The ideal scenario is to release them back to where they belong, but it's not always possible.
For gibbons, it's very hard. The rehabilitation process is something we have to do very carefully, and we're learning a lot as we go. We now know how to get gibbons tree fit, to get fit for release. We have 2 units of gibbons who are just amazing in the trees. So we've done the rehabilitation phase. Now we need to focus on the release site preparation. So we're looking for that release site that is the right habitat, has the right food, has the right space, and importantly, has the right protection. The rangers within that area are skilled, their capacity is good enough to deal with gibbons being reintroduced into that point, and that's what we're working on over the next year.
Sudden, thundery downpours are pretty normal in this part of the world. This morning, in the rain, the team are preparing to sedate one of the female gibbons, Binh. She currently lives with Teo, and together they make up Dao Tien's odd couple. Teo is a white-cheeked male gibbon, a species that's critically endangered. Binh is a female golden-cheeked gibbon. They currently live happily together in a large rehabilitation cage. The hope is that one day, Teo will be released into the wild in northern Vietnam, the habitat for his species. But for now, he enjoys life with Binh as his companion. However, as they are different species, they mustn't breed, so to prevent any unwanted pregnancies, Binh needs to have a contraceptive implant.
We're going to move these both to the semi-free enclosure at the top, the north of the island. She has to have an implant because she's golden-cheeked, he's a white-cheeked. So we've got to make sure that before we move them anywhere, we have control of birth control. So today, we have to try and get the implant into it. If not, we'll have to wait another time until we can actually catch her.
Savvy, a visiting vet from Ping Tung Rescue Centre in Taiwan, has been enlisted to perform the procedure and to give Binh an all-over health check as well. But first, they need to sedate her, and that's proving far from easy. Human contact with the primates is kept to a minimum, so Binh is wary. The only option for the team is to sedate her by blowpipe. But she's aware something's not right and is constantly on the move, making it hard for vet assistant Jessie to get a clean shot.
Jessie unfortunately missed. So what we're going to do, because she's getting a little bit stressed out, so what we're going to do now is put the small cage on the slide and we're going to try and get her that way. So we're all going to back away. I'm going to sit here, or Mr. Wan will stay here, one of the two of us, and then we're going to get her into the cage, into the net, hand inject, and then just get it done and dusted.
It's now a waiting game, as Lee and keeper Mr. Nguyen wait patiently for Binh to be tempted into the box. Safely secured, she's quickly injected.
Yeah. Okay.
We've injected her a couple of minutes ago. She's now going down, so we're keeping it all calm. Went very well, got into the cage, vet Mr. Wan. Nice injection, all very good.
Savvy is going to do the health check and implant in situ. She doesn't want to waste time transporting Binh over to the hospital, and because it should be a quick procedure, she's only had a light sedation. It's safer to keep her in the caged area. They immediately take a chance to check her weight, just under 8 kilograms. Next, Savvy starts checking Binh over. First her temperature, then blood samples are taken. And all the time, Jessie is keeping an eye on her vital signs. Finally, Savvy inserts the contraceptive implant between the shoulder blades, where Binh can't reach it. She's then given an injection to bring her round and put back in her box.
Achieve the goal we needed to achieve. This is going to help her for her next step, going out into the semi-free, out into the forest. You know, it's what we're here for, to give back what these guys have had taken away. It's vital that we do this. So, yeah. So we'll just leave her now, come back later, make sure she's okay, give her some food, give her some water, and then potentially put her back with Teo.
It's late afternoon and the rain has finally eased off. But for vet Savvy, her work for the day is far from over. In Dao Tien's primate hospital, she's preparing to check over the 2 new pygmy loris that Lee brought in yesterday. Marina and keeper Mr. Dong have gone to collect them, but overnight the condition of one of them has deteriorated. The loris has a significant eye infection and will need to be checked out first. Savvy wastes no time. As soon as the loris is under anaesthetic, it's quickly weighed.
260.
Next, they determine the sex.
She's a little girl, and we look at her teeth. She has all her teeth. So they're a little bit worn, so she's probably around 4 years of age.
It's a relatively young female loris, which the team immediately name Rachel. She's underweight, but it's her eyes that are causing concern.
She's in a very bad way. She's a third down on her body weight, and her eyes are in a bad state.
I think it's the trauma, so I don't think this eye can be healed.
So you think maybe she can still see a little bit through the left eye?
Yeah.
Rachel's right eye has suffered some sort of trauma that probably occurred whilst being hunted. But her left eye may respond to a new treatment recommended to Marina. It's a solution to treat damaged corneas.
It's incredibly expensive, but apparently it's wonderful. At the moment, we're kind of hoping for a miracle for her to be fit for release. This stuff has to work and we have to save one eye fully. Otherwise, she's not going to make it back in the wild.
With Rachel recovering in her box, the team start the health check on the other loris rescued yesterday.
再起来一点。300.
300 grams is still slightly underweight for a loris, but a lot healthier than Rachel's weight. It's also a female, which the team are quick to name Anne. She's in a lot better condition than Rachel, so the team can afford to take their time giving her a thorough examination. Dao Tien is only one of a handful of rescue centres that work with pygmy loris, so every bit of information they can collect is vital and helps them learn as much as possible about this vulnerable species.
And although she's slim, she has beautiful teeth, and they're all there. She has beautiful eyes with no damage. So at this point, it looks like she will be a really good release candidate. We can give her 3 to 6 months just to gain some weight. So hopefully at the end of the year, at the end of the dry season, we can let her go.
It's going to take a lot of hard work and dedication from all the staff, but it's what Dao Tien was set up to do. The rescue, rehabilitation and release of primates from southern Vietnam. And if things go well in the next few months, Anne the pygmy loris may well get the chance of living in the wild once more. Next time on Monkey Life. Rescued young golden-cheeked gibbons Vang and Hoi meet a role model who'll help them learn about life in the wild.
What we do in the next 6 months will decide their future.
And Linn the loris has a big night out. Today on Monkey Life, rescued youngsters Vang and Hoi are introduced to a big sister who can teach them how to become wild gibbons.
What they can get from Calais is a big, brave sister who will fight for them, always be close. And this is the perfect first step to achieving that.
And Linn the loris has a big night out.
He's taken his major step back to where he belongs. Absolutely brilliant.
This is Dao Tien Rescue Centre in Vietnam. It's the sister sanctuary of Monkey World in Dorset. And the staff here dedicate their lives to rescuing and rehabilitating endangered Vietnamese primates.
It's a new forest with a new family group of gibbons coming, and hopefully everybody will grow up and mature together.
It's a 6,000-mile journey from the UK to the centre, which lies 160 miles northeast of the capital, Ho Chi Minh City. It's early morning on Dao Tien Island, and the golden-cheeked gibbons are in full voice. For all the staff here, it's a busy time. Dao Tien has 30 gibbons that need constant care and attention, and the morning feed is no exception. The gibbons are separated into 2 different areas. The Phase 1 animals are kept in secure enclosures. These are gibbons in the process of rehabilitation, or who will never be fit or well enough for release into the wild. The rest of the gibbons live in semi-wild areas on the island.
This area, our semi-forested enclosure, is a phase 2, so it's an enclosed patch of trees. It's got a 400-metre electric fence round, and the trees are cut back, so they can't escape, but it means that they can sleep in the trees, they can travel in the trees, they can do huge leaps, all these skills that they need to get before they're fit to go back into the true forest.
There are 4 forested enclosures for the gibbons on Dao Tien, 3 small ones around 4 hectares in size, and 1 large 20-hectare site.
This is actually a similar size to a wild home range, and this is where they can function as normal gibbons. The only problem is it's very, very damaged forest. There isn't enough fruit trees, as you would find in the wild. There's not enough ficus. So although they can travel the same kind of area, we provide extra fruit for them just to make this match what the wild would give them. This is the perfect place just to finish off their final education until we go for the next release.
Currently, there are 2 groups of golden-cheeked gibbons living in the semi-wild forested areas on Dao Tien. One of these is a family group of 3. Limwin, an adult male, Misu, an adult female, and youngster Savi. Limwin and Misu have had an eventful few years. They were some of the first gibbons to arrive on Dao Tien, and after being successfully rehabilitated in the semi-wild area, were ready to be released together back into the wild. A suitable range was found in Cat Tien National Park, and both gibbons took to the trees. But before long, a wild male golden-cheeked gibbon arrived on their patch. Limwin was chased and attacked by the new male and fell from the high tree canopy, and afterwards stayed low to the ground. The wild male was seeking a mate, and Misu went with him. The team managed to recapture Limwin and took him back to Dao Tien. But just a few months later, after being tracked by her radio collar, Misu was found unwell and on her own, with no male companion. She was recaptured and brought back to the centre, where the pair were reunited. They've since had a baby girl, and Misu's pregnant once again. It's been a learning curve for everyone involved.
Since then, they've got a little bit older, they've got a little bit wiser, they've started their own family, and now they're in a very, very strong position for release. And we're also a lot wiser. We now know the amount of space you need to reintroduce gibbons. It has to be 4 times the potential home range area that they want. That way, any distant neighbouring groups who have opinions, there's space for everyone. But we are learning gibbon introductions are really, really tough. And we just have to keep going, collecting as much data as possible, and always looking after each and every gibbon to make sure that they get the best opportunity and get the best supportive care if needed.
And it's not just adult gibbons that need this support. Just over 6 months ago, the centre rescued 2 infants, Hoi and Vang. Hoi's a juvenile young male gibbon about 18 months old. He was transferred from a neighbouring national park where he was rescued and hand-reared. But they didn't have the correct facilities or expertise to look after him. Vang is a young female gibbon, just 8 months old. She'd also been hand-reared from a baby when her mum rejected her. Vang's start in life was far from rosy. She was kept in a small ice cream box and on arrival at Dao Tien was in a much worse mental state than Hoi. But 6 months on, the change in Vang is remarkable, and she adores her adopted brother.
This little team are ready to meet an adult gibbon because that's what they want. At the moment, you can see them reaching out to us for attention, for interaction, for education, and we can't give them that. The only person who can give them that, or animal, is an adult gibbon. And we have a lovely, lovely female adult gibbon lined up for them. And they're as ready as they'll ever be.
And so today, Lee, with the help of 2 Dao Tien keepers, is going to collect Calais, an 8-year-old female. She's in a holding cage on the edge of the semi-wild area. She's just going through her second colour change, so is predominantly black, but will soon be blonde like all adult females. She was confiscated by the Forestry Protection Department and came to Dao Tien 6 years ago. She spent the last 4 years living with other gibbons in the trees of the semi-wild area, so the team are hoping this experience will make her an ideal surrogate sister to look after and tutor Hoi and Vang.
We're going to transport her down to cage 5, next door to Vang and Hoi. We'll assess how they are together, and then potentially tomorrow do the introductions. But we need to play it by ear. We need to see how the 2 youngsters react to Calais, which is the most important thing for us.
With the travelling crate secured, it's just a matter of time and patience to see if Calais can be tempted into the box by the fruit inside. But she's wary. She knows something's different and keeps one hand on the cage at all times as she reaches in for the fruit. After what seems like an age, she has the confidence and courage to go right inside the box.
I was about to call and say, look, let's push her in with the net. You know, it's getting to a point I need to get a move on. But then she started coming in, so she'd reach as far as she could reach, and she took a piece of fruit and off she goes. Not a problem. On the 3rd time, she went in. And there you go. A lot of people try and do it on the 1st attempt. Big no. In my books, it's a big no. Let them go in, let them go out. Then they relax, and there you go. Job done. So let's get down to cage 5.
Calais is now safe and secure in the crate and on her way over to meet young gibbons Hoi and Vang. If the 2 little ones are ever going to have a chance of surviving in the wild, it's imperative they socialise with other gibbons and have less human contact. Having an older surrogate sister to show them the ropes could help them achieve this, and the next big step after that would be to release them all into the semi-wild area. With everything set, Lee wastes no time opening the crate. And Calais is out like a shot, straight up high where gibbons feel safest. Hoi shows no signs of nervousness and is straight over to check out the new neighbour. Calais seems to be taking a keen interest in the 2 youngsters. Vang is curious too, but looks on from the safety blanket of her hammock. Lee's delighted with how things have gone today.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's nice and calm. There's been no aggressive calls from Calais. She's come across, she's interacted, she's sniffed. She's sat at the mesh now, she's watching calmly. That's all good news. Fingers crossed, it stays as it is, and we can move forward tomorrow.
Today may have gone well, but Marina knows that time is of the essence for Hoi and Vang.
What we do in the next 6 months will decide their future. We so have to try and get them in the trees, and the humans taking a big step back. And any social interaction, any support that they need, they go to that adult female gibbon for it. And that has to happen now, otherwise Hoi and Vang will never see the wild forest again.
But for now, all the signs are good. At Dao Tien, the centre's main objective is the successful rehabilitation and release of rescued primates back into the wild. It takes a lot of hard work and dedication from the staff to get them ready. Many of the primates that arrive on the island have been saved from squalid conditions and have big underlying health issues as a result. One such individual is Pedro the loris. He was confiscated by the environmental police in Ho Chi Minh City and brought in a week ago with severe damage to his left leg. He was caught in a hunter's snare, and Marina's so concerned that she's called in a specialist vet to take a look. Savvy is from Ping Tung Rescue Center in Taiwan. They have collaborated with Dao Tien for many years.
For the last week, we've had him on antibiotics and anti-inflammatories, just trying to see if we can save this leg. But I don't think we can. He doesn't have that much use left in it. It's going to hinder him more than help him. The only thing that makes it kind of all right is the fact that we know we can release three-legged loris. So if this amputation goes okay and he recovers well, he still has a chance to be a normal loris. So although it's awful, we know we can get him back to where he belongs.
After a thorough examination by vet Savvy, she confirms what Marina suspected. Injuries so bad, the only option is amputation.
Here's the bone here. So we are going to do the surgical cut from here to make sure the infection site won't be close to the surgical wound. It's not a difficult procedure, but I'm worried about the bleeding because it has a big vessel behind the leg. So we do it slowly to make sure it's not too many blood lost.
It's tragic to think that until recently, this tiny loris was fully fit and living in the wild.
We estimate, based on the police data, that 3 weeks ago he was still running around the forests of Can Hoa province. And now he's here losing a leg, skinny, in quite bad shape.
Savvy's taking her time making sure every part of the procedure is done perfectly. It's important that Pedro heals quickly.
Loris are so sensitive, they don't like, even when scabs are building and it's irritating and itchy, this just triggers the loris to keep on scratching, and they create huge holes in themselves by just any irritation. So a little bit of medication, and the challenge is on then just for him to leave it alone.
The operation's been a success, although for the next 48 hours, Pedro will have to be constantly monitored as he recovers from the major surgery. But for now, he's placed back in his box on top of a hot water bottle to keep him warm until the anaesthetic wears off.
Pedro, minus his back leg, is doing very well. He's just starting to move, but he's going to be groggy for quite a while. He put up quite a fight, so he had lots of anaesthetic, so he just needs to sleep it off. So it's our job now to get him fit and to assess him in a nice large enclosure, how good he is at hunting and how good he is at travelling. But I think 3 legs, he can still do it.
Also currently under assessment by Marina are Vang and Hoi. For the last 24 hours, they've been getting used to an older female gibbon, Callie, living next door. The hope is that all 3 will get on, and Callie will be able to show the 2 youngsters the ropes when, in the future, they get released into a semi-wild area on the island. But more immediately, Lee is about to open the slide between the 2 cages so that the 3 can meet face to face. Hoi shows no sign of nerves and goes straight in to meet his new big sister. Vang's a bit more tentative and prefers to keep her options open. But older female Callie's a lot more confident and is keen to check out the 2 youngsters.
This is a perfect gibbon introduction. The quiet ones are always the best. But most importantly, Hoi has full points. He's been quite laid back. And then secondly, he's giving little Vang lots of attention. He's playing, he's always going close to her, so she's remaining really strong. So this is, couldn't ask for anything better. Because they will never get a mum that they can hold on to. That part of their lives is gone. But what they can get from Calais is a big, brave sister who will fight for them, always be close. And this is the perfect first step to achieving that.
It's early days, and in the coming weeks, the team will gradually increase the length of time the three spend together. But for now, Hoi and Vang seem quite happy with a new older sister to play with. At Dao Tien, all primates that are scheduled for release are fitted with a radio collar. It enables the team to keep a track of their movements in the wild so they can monitor their health and well-being in the early months after release. This afternoon, Li and keeper Feng are heading into Cat Tien National Park, where they're going to release a 3-year-old male pygmy loris called Linn into the wild. 4 months ago, he was confiscated from a hunter and sent to Dao Tien for rehabilitation. For the last 2 days and nights, Linn has spent his time in a release cage, getting used to the sights and sounds of the forest.
Confident about the release. Whether he'll come out as we open the door, I don't know. We'll stay there about an hour. If not, we'll pull away. Tomorrow morning, Mr. Binh or Mr. Kang will come out with the radio tracker and try and find the sleep site. So we've got to keep it quiet so that he comes out.
It's the middle of the rainy season in Vietnam, and the truck can only go so far. It's now a 3-mile trek through the forest to the release site. The area has been thoroughly assessed by the team and deemed as a suitable site for pygmy loris to make a new home. Just as important is that it's close by a Kim Lam ranger station, the custodians of the park, who will protect Linn from hunters and poachers. But when they arrive, for an anxious moment, Li can't spot Linn. Loris are tiny animals, weighing no more than 350 grams. During the day, they curl up to sleep in tree hollows and the tree canopy, where they're well hidden and camouflaged. After a few seconds, Li spots Linn near the top of the cage.
He's up high, which is good. Okay. Keep an eye on him, and when it goes dark, we'll let him out.
It's now a waiting game. The optimum time to release Linn is at night. This is when these nocturnal primates are at their most active, feeding on insects and gum.
It's vitally important that we rehabilitate, get them back into the wild, get them off the streets, get them out of people's homes as pets. It's not what they are, you know. They're a prosimian. Get them back in the forest where they belong, and Cat Tien is helping Dao Tien achieve that goal.
Linn is now fully awake. Mr. Kang, a Kim Lam ranger working at Dao Tien, is quietly going to open the slide of the release cage. Li's keeping well back from the site so as not to disturb or frighten Linn. He's able to watch the whole thing on a laptop via an infrared camera. The slide is open. It's now up to Linn to seize his chance.
He's actually coming across to the slide. So he's being very sensitive, very careful. Not quite sure, which is all very good. He hasn't gone out like a bullet. He's taken the time. He's now going to take that next step. He's up for the slide. He's looking around still. This is amazing. There it goes, gone. That's absolutely brilliant. He's out, took his time, took in his surroundings, off he went. That's just absolutely awesome. You know, we've done this so many times, but to actually see that is just, you know, a massive achievement. We've got him back to weight, got him back to good condition. and he's taken his major step back to where he belongs. Absolutely brilliant.
Next time on Monkey Life, we're back at the park, where it's all changed for the gibbons as the care team prepare to form a new all-male group.
Theo, come here. James. Gently. Yep, you got him. Good boy.
And bedtime for Hananya's chimps. But little Thelma just wants to play. This time on Monkey Life. It's all change for the gibbons as the care team prepare to form a new all-male group.
Theo, come here. Right, go, James. James. Gently. Yep, you got him. Good boy.
Sammy the Marmoset's health check causes concern.
She's got a massive caudal vena cava coming through from the heart through the liver here.
And bedtime for Hananya's chimps, but little Thelma just wants to play. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I think this one's a little boy, and I think that that one over there might be an older lady.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. It's an early start for the primate care team and a massive day for 3 adolescent golden-cheeked gibbons. Today, Mikado, Teo and Zak are about to leave their families to form the park's first ever Bachelor gibbon group. The 3 youngsters are going to be moved to an enclosure at the top of the park, and it's a major operation.
What we're trying to do here is not your usual gibbon introductions. We're going to create a little bachelor trio of young men. So we've got Mikado, and then Zak, who's actually from this house, and Teo from Peanut's group down at the bottom. The planning that's gone into sort of this move has gone on for, 6 months, maybe even longer, because we knew that we were coming to a point where there were going to be social problems in the family groups, and we had to come up with a solution.
In the wild, males leave their families at around 6 years old, and more often than not, it's their fathers who kick them out. To avoid any major conflict, in captivity, these family dynamics have to be carefully managed. This can sometimes mean splitting up the males in the group and sending them to other wildlife parks.
So far, there are no suitable homes for them to go to, so we're making sure that we give them the best opportunity to have a good and comfortable life. And the best way to do that at the park right now is to create this young bachelor trio, because it means that the 3 lads are all sorted out in one go. That doesn't mean that this is going to last forever, or that it'll even work on this occasion, so we'll have to wait and see how we go.
The first maneuver needed is for established couple Jake and Zoe to move out of their enclosure. They'll head to the main gibbon complex, leaving their son Zak behind to meet his new roommates.
There's a lot of coordination going on this morning to try and make sure everything runs very smoothly. We want to do this with all the animals fully conscious and alert, and so there is no use of anaesthetics and things like that. So that's obviously a bit of a mission. It's quite a difficult thing. We've done lots of preparation, so hopefully we just see if the day goes well. James, if you do the bottom slide there, yeah?
Jake is first up.
All right, Jakey.
The team are hoping that the weeks of training they've put in will give him the confidence to walk into his travelling crate on his own terms.
Go on, Jake. Need a bit more space, eh? Go on.
Jake takes a moment to consider his options. Before making up his mind. And once he's safely in his crate, it's the turn of his partner, Zoe. The team thinks she might be the trickiest of all to move.
So hope she moves to the next stage as easily as that. Come on in, Zoe. You've boxed these gibbons before.
I thought she was going to be a nightmare.
The training is paying off.
So Jake went in, a little bit of a delay when he was in the crate, but he was fine once he was in there. Not too much stress really from both of them, and then Zoe went straight forward, straight into the crate, which really surprised us because we thought that she might be a bit more difficult out of most of them. But yeah, they've both gone in really well.
So far, things have gone smoothly, and more importantly, without much stress for the two gibbons. As Jake and Zoe head to their new home, the care team begin preparations to move the final two members of the new all-male gibbon group. Family groupings at the park are varied, and with 34 marmosets calling it home, making sure the dynamics work can be challenging. These tiny South American monkeys live in pairs or small groups, like this family, made up of Jeffrey's marmosets, Luna and Fred, and common marmoset, Sammy. Sammy's been living happily at the park since 2012, when she was rescued from the pet trade. It's often tricky to know the age of rescued primates, but it's believed she's in her golden years. Recently, the primate care staff have noticed some changes in her behaviour.
She was normally quite a strong character, but she's actually become a lot quieter, which is completely out of character for her. And just keeping herself away from the other two. Physically, we've also noticed a few changes in her. Her coat has become a bit greasy, which can be an indication of just being a bit under the weather. She's lost a bit of weight. We can feel some bones in her back, on her backbone, and she's got a distended stomach. So we just want to get her into the hospital and give her a good check over and see if we can find anything.
It's always difficult for the care team when the animals they look after show signs of losing condition or becoming ill, particularly if the vet needs to be called.
There's always worry every time you take an animal to the hospital. You worry about what you're going to find, but you also worry about anaesthetic. Every anaesthetic can carry a risk. Obviously, young, healthier animals are less of an anaesthetic risk. Older animals with potentially health problems are a bigger risk, but we can't do anything about whatever's wrong with her unless we know about it. So the best thing for her is to get her knocked down, get her checked over, and then we can deal with any problems we find.
So this morning, Karen's taking Sammy to the park's hospital for an investigation by vet Dave Harding, who's met Sammy before.
She's had various treatments over the years, but she's never really been investigated as to what might be wrong with her. So we're going to take a look at her today and give her a quick anaesthetic and hopefully do some x-rays and hopefully do the ultrasound scan as well, although she's very, very small, so it's quite difficult to get much detail on these very small animals.
Once she's asleep, Dave plans to x-ray Sammy to see what's causing her swollen stomach. It can be a sign that an animal has a tumour.
There's very poor abdominal detail. The scan will tell us whether there's any fluid in there. I might just see if I can take a little look at her heart as well, but she's so small it might be quite difficult.
The x-ray hasn't revealed what Dave needs to know, so he's going to do an ultrasound scan. High-frequency sound waves create an image that will hopefully give a clearer picture of what's going on inside Sammy.
Can you just turn the lights out, please, Jenny?
what Dave finds is not good news.
She's got a massive caudal vena cava coming through from the heart through the liver here. That's the main vein that comes in from the abdomen and comes through the diaphragm and then into the heart here. And you can see it's coming through into the right side of the heart. That means that the heart's not distributing the blood, it's backing up, which is the liver's quite big. And there's no evidence of any fluid in there that I can see. I mean, that explains quite a lot because that will cause liver enlargement.
It's a surprise for the team to discover that Sammy's distended stomach and changed behaviour is actually caused by a malfunction with her heart.
There's not going to be any solution for the underlying problem. She's got a massive heart, which we can't reverse that. The valve's abnormal, we can't reverse that. It's just managing the effects of it. I don't think we need panic about it.
Although Sammy's condition is serious, Dave's happy she's currently well enough to carry on with her daily routine, under the close supervision of the team. And it's not long before Sammy's up and about again, and back with Fred and Luna. She'll be given daily medication to help with her condition, but for now, she's just happy to be back with her family. The majority of the park's marmosets are rescued from the British pet trade. A few weeks ago, Alison went to collect common marmoset Sid, who'd been passed from pillar to post over the years. Sid finally ended up with Jackie, who immediately recognised the problems of keeping a primate as a pet.
My son acquired him in about January this year. I was absolutely devastated when my son brought him home because the first thing I said to him, it's cruel. He shouldn't be kept in a little cage like that. It's just not fair on the animal.
Jackie contacted Alison and Sid was rehomed at the park, along with another, younger common marmoset, Chuck. The new pair have settled in well together, and it was soon realised Sid, who Jackie thought was a boy, was actually a girl. So instead of just a pal to hang out with, Sid's got herself a toy boy. Today, Jackie and her sister have come to the park to visit Sid and hear the news from Alison.
So, yes, your boy has turned into a girl.
Girl. Very pleased.
Oh, yeah, I'll show you first. And she started coming outside, but only just.
Okay.
Sid comes straight over to see Jackie.
Sweetheart. Hello.
She seems to recognise her former owner, and it's an emotional reunion.
Why is she putting her ears back?
That's a threat.
Really? So you think you don't like me anymore?
No, it's just letting you know that this is her pouch and she's now got a boyfriend.
No.
Sid. Hello.
It's like she's got bigger in size.
Sid suffered from rickets and as a result has permanently misshapen bones. They limit her movement, but since arriving at the park, she's had a new lease of life.
Oh. Wait, come on, Sid. Oh, big girl now, jumping on there, look. Gotta get back now.
It's so nice for us when we see animals come good.
Yeah.
And she's always going to be runted and stunted and partially crippled. But the exercise in combination with the branches and the D3 and calcium, she'll get better and her mobility will get better. She's never going to grow to be a proper size.
No.
But look at how quick she can move now.
And having a new boyfriend to chase around and play with is also an excellent tonic. The new marmoset couple are enjoying life together. And it's great for Jackie to see Sid in her new home. Sid's bad start in life has had a happy ending, and Jackie feels her journey south to see her has been worthwhile.
100% improvement, I can see. She's so much happier.
It's all go for the team at the Gibbon enclosures. They've already moved golden-cheeked gibbons Jake and Zoe to a new part of the complex, leaving their son Zak behind. Now it's time for the team to transfer Mikado and Teo into Zak's enclosure, so the 3 boys can start the park's first ever Bachelor Gibbon group.
The end result today is that our 3 young adolescent boys will all come together in one place and then see if we can get like a little bachelor group.
Mikado will be first to be moved. The young male arrived at the park 6 years ago as an orphaned infant. After being hand-reared by the primate care staff, Mikado was paired with an older female called Alex, who became his surrogate mum. But now it's time for Mikado to move on. The team hope having playmates his own age will help him to develop as a young adult. For the primate care staff, relocating any animal is a big job, but gibbons can be particularly tricky.
Whenever we've got a situation like this, we are, of course, really nervous. You do lots of preparation, but there's always something that's unexpected. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens.
To encourage Mikado into his crate, Cat has some of his favourite treats.
Come here, Mikado. Come here, bud. What's this? Come on, then.
Closing the slide on a fast-moving gibbon is tough. Mistime it, and Mikado will be spooked. There'll be no second chance.
Beautiful. Well done. He hasn't moved. Go, James. Do it. Do it. Do it. Well done. Well done. That's it. Perfect. Good boy. Good boy, Mikado. Good boy. Jeremy, we're done.
Once he's safely in the crate, the rest of the team spring into action. They're taking him along to his new home, where he'll get a first look at Zak. His initial reaction may prove a guide to whether the 2 boys will get on or not. Jeremy and Kat do the honours and let Mikado into his new enclosure. For now, he'll have a bedroom to himself, but he'll be able to see and meet his future housemates from behind the safety of the wire mesh.
We are on track. Everything is going okay, touch wood. Just one more to go, so fingers crossed.
With Mikado's transfer complete and Kate supervising his interactions with Zak, the rest of the team turn their attentions to their 3rd and final bachelor, Teo.
Oh, Teo. What's going on?
At 4 years of age, Teo will be the youngest member of the new group. He's the son of Peanut and Peng Yo. They've already had a son leave home when Tien moved in with Jake and Zoe's daughter Kim just 2 years ago.
Teo! Come here. Teo, come here. Come on then. What are you doing? Hi, come on then. Come on. Teo. Right, go James, James. Gently. Yep, you got him. Good boy. Padlock. So this is Teo in the box, last one. So now all we've got to do is get him up to the house, unloaded, and everybody's where they're meant to be, so that's good.
It's been a particularly busy morning for the care team and the gibbons, but then moving home is never easy. The reorganisation seems to have gone pretty well, but it's just the first step along the way to the trio becoming an established group.
The first round is good. Everybody's in one piece. The moves have gone down really well. Primate care staff have done just a brilliant job sort of getting the gibbons to go into their crates without anesthetics. So I'm hopeful, but we're not even a fraction of the way of where we're hoping to be. So in the coming days and even weeks, we'll have to wait and see.
It's been a long day for all concerned. For the rest of the day, the 3 gibbons will be left to settle down. And tomorrow, the team will decide on whether to let this all-new bachelor group meet face to face. At Hananya's enclosure, the day is drawing to an end. And it'll soon be bedtime for the group. That's 19 beds for 19 chimps, meaning lots of wood wool, sheets and blankets for Katie from the primate care team to distribute around the bedroom. And as all the chimps like a snack before bed, she throws chopped up squash and tomatoes around for them to enjoy. Boss Hananya leads the way indoors and the others soon begin to follow. Patricia even brings her own bedding, while Kiki and Zeynep are considering a night under the stars. Thelma hitches a ride on Mum Cherry's back, while Evelyn's already inside, making her bed high up on the top platform. But for others, like Peggy, the bedtime snack is higher up the agenda. After all, no one wants to go to bed on an empty stomach. Jess enjoys the butternut squash, while Cherry opts for tomatoes. Thelma fancies a little nibble too. But like all youngsters, her main interest is playing. And she's going to delay bedtime for as long as she can. And Auntie Honey's happy to join in. Meanwhile, more of the grown-ups are bedding down. In the wild, chimpanzees build their beds, called nests, each evening, high up in the tree canopy. It's safer away from nighttime predators. Chimps have a strong instinct to nest build, but the youngsters need to learn the skills involved from others around them. Thelma's just getting to grips with the idea and watches how Valerie does it, as she gets her bed comfy all around her. Cookie's picked a nice red blanket to wrap herself up in. Chimps love a good night's sleep, and the better the construction of the bed, the more comfortable and cozy they'll be. So everyone makes the final touches to ensure a good night's sleep. Last to settle down for the night are Cherry and Thelma. Cherry's making a bed for two, which takes a bit longer. She piles her nest material high, and as soon as it's ready, little Thelma decides she's tired after all. There's nothing like snuggling up close to Mum and being tucked in before drifting off after a long day playing with her family. Next time on Monkey Life, Gibbon's Mikado, Teo and Zak discover what life's like hanging out with the boys.
Zak is just playing. He's just having fun with a stick.
And baby orangs Rieke and Bulu meet maternal matriarch Hsiao-Quai. This time on Monkey Life, baby orangs Rieke and Bulu have a special play date.
We have seen a lot of them confidently going off and playing with individuals on their own, separate from each other. Rika's actually taking quite a shine to Hsiao-Quai.
Gibbons, Mikado, Teo and Zak discover what it's like to hang out with the boys.
Hopefully we will see three happy boys having a great time together.
And life is sweet for the Bachelor chimps.
They're not going to last particularly long for the chimps, but they are something that they'll really enjoy. There's lots of treats inside.
Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
That's one been grabbed.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. For the park's two youngest orangutans, it's been a very busy summer, full of new adventures. After difficult starts in life, Bulu Mata and Rieke, now both almost 2, were hand-reared at the park's creche for orphaned orangutans. Bulu was born at Budapest Zoo, but his mother sadly died when he was just a few days old. At the tender age of 3 months, he arrived at the park. A few weeks later, Rieke came from Berlin Zoo, where she'd been rejected by her mother. So the babies were raised together by the park's care team and became the firmest of friends. As they've got older, the pair have spent less time with the primate care team and more time together, exploring new playrooms and even the great outdoors. They've grown in confidence and have been introduced to new friends. Firstly, 6-year-old Sylvester, and then adult female O'Sheen, who both live in the orangutan nursery. There are 3 other members in this group: 4-year-old Awan, who they've met, and her adopted mum Hsiao-Quai and her 6-year-old son Jin, who they'll meet today. It's good for all the orangutans in the nursery group to meet each other. It's hoped they'll all get on together and that everyone will grow up learning how to live with other orangs. And today's going to be Bulu Mata and Rieke's first day visiting the whole gang.
They have built up quite a nice relationship with O'Sheen and Sylvester so far, so hopefully that will continue.
Firstly, Jin is joining them in the bedrooms. As always, when anything new is happening, the youngsters stick close together. It might be a wise idea.
Jin can be a little bit more boisterous. He is kind of the more robust animal in this group. And the babies just have to get used to the fact that Jin's a little bit of a tough nut, really, and you've just got to get on with it. You know, he's actually a great playmate if you can tolerate the slapping initially.
As Jin is a little bit rough and tumble, the team decide it's time to let all 7 orangs in together and give them access to a bit more space. So they head out into the tunnel that leads to their outdoor enclosure. Rieke and Bulu lead the way, followed closely by Jin, Sylvester and Awan. Awan's keen to play. And so is Jin. The next big character for the pair to meet is their mum, Hsiao-Quai. She heads straight to the pair to check them out, making a gentle approach. And it's confident Rieke who shows some attitude. Sylvester thinks it might be too much too soon, so positions himself between them. He's spent quite a bit of time with them now and is becoming like an older brother.
Sylvester's being a little bit of a guardian angel. He's actually become a little bit protective over them, which is quite good. So whenever Jin or perhaps one of the other adults gets a bit too rough, Sylvester's actually getting in there, protecting them, pushing them away, and then having a wrestle with Jin for a little bit, and then they go back together. So it's actually working out quite well.
After the initial meeting, it's Rieke who seems to have taken a bit of a shine to the big female, as she playfully bops her on the head with wood wool. Hsiao-Quai is an experienced mum, and, for the moment, seems interested in the new youngster. While Rieke's occupied with Hsiao-Quai, Bulu's finding his own fun.
Bulu has actually been quite a rough and tumble character who's absolutely enjoyed playing absolutely loads with Jin, wrestling with Sylvester and Awan as well, so it's really good for them all to be using up all of their energy and having lots of orangutan wrestles.
Rieke and Bulu have rarely been out of each other's reach, but today they're gaining independence and making more new friends. It's a great sign.
We have seen a lot of them confidently going off and playing with individuals on their own, separate from each other. So we've seen Bulu interacting with Jin and with Sylvester, and Awan, and Rieka's actually taking quite a shine to Hsiao-Quai.
The baby orangutans seem to like their new family. Rieke and Bulu start heading towards the outdoor area. But their new playmates are still in the tunnel, and they change their minds. They want to stay close to Jin, Awan, and Sylvester. Eventually, they all decide it's time to take the play outside. Rieke heads straight out this time and gets her turn to play with Awan. But Bulu's a bit distracted. Starting life as orphans was tragic, but both Bulu and Rieke seem to have found their place with their new adopted family. A few days ago, a major move took place at the park. Mikado, Teo and Zak, adolescent male golden-cheeked gibbons who had outgrown their family groups, were put together to form the park's first ever Bachelor gibbon group. Zak stayed in the enclosure he'd been living in already, and Mikado and Teo transferred from theirs. Since then, the boys have had a few brief meetings indoors. And they've all been given solo access to the outside. But today, they're going out all together for the first time. It's the next step, but it's a concern for the primate care team.
So when you look at these gibbons, you know, they look skinny and fragile and quite a sort of soft and fluffy looking cute little thing. So you wouldn't think that they're actually an aggressive animal or anything like that. But they are. When they do have a fight, it is very quick. They go fast, they're furious, and they are armed with these extremely dangerous teeth. You're talking about some serious injuries down to the bone very quickly. So it's still a worrying time right now that we want to watch out for that kind of behaviour happening, and it could happen very easily.
Every step of the process will be closely monitored by the staff who know the gibbons and the subtleties of their behaviour very well. With everything ready, it's time to head outside.
Teo! Come here, buddy.
First out will be Teo. Aged almost 5, he's the youngest and most nervous of the trio. Next out is Zak. He's a confident 6-year-old. He grew up in this enclosure, but he's going to have to get used to his new housemates. Last, it's Mikado. Also 6, he's the eldest of the group. He's an assertive gibbon, but unlike Zak and Teo, who were raised by their parents, he was orphaned at a zoo in France and is more human-focused than the other two. And he quickly comes to see Kat at the fence.
Good boy. He just wants me to hold his foot, and that kind of just reassures him that life's okay. It gives him a little bit of comfort.
With Mikado feeling reassured, Zak tries to catch his and Teo's attention.
Zak is just playing. He's just having fun with a stick. You know, it's showing off all his best moves and his acrobatic skills, and, you know, it's just showing he's a good, fun guy, and he wants to play. The other two boys were both really interested. We saw Teo sticking his head out, looking up, watching what was going on, and at some point, hopefully, they'll go kind of, yeah, I want to join in that game.
Teo isn't ready to join in just yet. Instead, he's found himself a hiding place. Mikado, however, is up for some fun and chases Zak around the enclosure. After a short time, a tentative Teo gets the confidence to come out for a quick look around. The young gibbons are beginning to get used to each other's presence, and Mikado is relaxed enough to break into song. It's a great sign and shows that he's feeling more content in his new situation. It's still early days for the new group, and only time will tell how they'll do long term. But so far, Kat's pleased with how things are going.
It's such a relief to be at this point. So we just hope now that it continues to go from strength to strength, and hopefully we will see 3 happy boys having a great time together.
At the Bachelor Chimps enclosure, the primate care team are preparing an intriguing surprise for the sometimes rowdy group. Sean and Lisa are filling these colourful papier-mâché balls with some of the chimps' favourite snacks, then topping them up with runny honey. Before letting the chimps out, they're going to tie them all around their enclosure.
They're basically replica beehives, so we want to really encourage the chimps' natural behaviour, breaking apart beehives to get to honey and rewards that are inside.
There are enough for all 15 chimps to have at least one each. In the wild, chimps are known to enjoy honey, and the park's chimpanzees are equally fond of the delicacy.
They're not going to last particularly long for the chimps, but they are something that they'll really enjoy. There's lots of treats inside, so because it's new, they will have a lot of fun with them.
The boys rush out, with Mojo leading the way, and immediately spot the colourful hives, prompting lots of excited calls as they race up the climbing frame. They've never seen anything like this before. Half-brothers Buxom and Jester share their puzzlement as they examine one of the mock hives. Paco's collected one, and he's taking it off to examine in peace. Chimps are very curious by nature. Sammy watches with interest while Buxom busily investigates what's inside these strange objects. Meanwhile, Kiko's trying to pull one through the cargo net, but that's just not going to work. Paco's found a second ball. He's pretty pleased with himself, but doesn't want anyone else close by while he inspects them. And at last, Kiko's managed to get the ball. But a bit of a squabble breaks out. He's not involved, but still loses his hard-earned prize. It's very frustrating. Lisa and Sean have hidden the treats among straw and cardboard to make them harder to find. But chimps are highly intelligent and will investigate anything new until they fully understand what it is. And if it involves food, they'll keep going until every last morsel is eaten or licked up. Ben considers using his find to put on a display, but no one's watching, and the lure of the treats inside is too much. He might as well work out how to open it. Mojo's hive contains dried spaghetti. He's not impressed. But when he digs deeper and finds some of it's covered in honey, it's a different story. Chimps have a very sweet tooth. The bachelors are making short work of the papier-mâché balls and their contents. The only ones left are harder to reach. In the wild, chimps go to great lengths to forage for highly priced foods, and the park's primates don't give up easily either. The replica hives have been a great hit, leaving the bachelor boys feeling life is, well, sweet. In recent weeks, there have been quite a few newly rescued monkeys arriving at the park. The latest two are common marmosets Chuck and Sid. Originally said to both be boys, Alison spotted Sid is in fact a girl.
I think it's a girl.
Sydney.
Yeah. How funny.
The park needs all available space for rescued animals, so to avoid the patter of tiny marmoset feet, Chuck recently had a vasectomy operation. The new pair, who both began life as part of the pet trade, had previously been living alone, but now they're enjoying each other's company.
They're a really good couple, Sid and Chuck. They get on really well.
Sid does look over to Chuck for reassurance. Chuck's the more kind of dominant, in-charge character, and she'll just follow him around. And Chuck, I think, does look after her as well, so it's a good bond going on.
As the couple have hit it off so well, they've recently gained a new sense of freedom and started exploring the great outdoors for the first time. At their former homes, neither had outside space, so it's a new experience for them, which each day the care staff make extra special.
This is something that we provide as enrichment. On a daily basis for all of our animals, we usually hang up something or hide something around. It encourages their natural behaviour and just, yeah, keeps them interested, really. It's just exciting for them.
Today, Hannah's got cups full of wood wool with insects hidden inside, and coconut shells with cereal and jam.
Sid! Chuck! Come on, you two!
Chuck's first out.
Come on, Sid!
Sid pops her head out for a look around, but still finds the outdoor enclosure a little intimidating. Confident Chuck is out like a bullet and straight to the insects. He devours a tasty waxworm. It's full of nutrients and would be part of their natural diet in the wild.
Come on, Sid.
Next, Chuck finds the cereal and jam. They're a bit trickier to get hold of. Chuck's getting all the goodies to himself right now, but Sid loves being close to him and plucks up the courage to head out to see what he's up to. Warily, she starts to explore. She's much more interested in getting close to Chuck than the breakfast treats. And he reciprocates her affection. Chuck's in pretty good shape, but Sid has some serious mobility issues as a result of rickets. It may help to explain her more cautious personality.
Sid is a little bit nervous. It's because it is a new area still for her, so she's still getting used to her surroundings. But because she is quite fragile as well, her bones aren't as strong as Chuck's. Chuck's a bit more confident moving around, but she still needs to get used to moving around on the branches. So it's just letting her gain that confidence to do that.
It may take Sid a little longer than Chuck to gain her self-assurance, but the future is looking positive for the pair as they enjoy their new life together. Sid and Chuck aren't the only marmosets to have arrived at the park over the last year. Early in the summer, Alison collected black-tufted marmoset Ruby from a family in Grimsby.
Hi, you. Are you a good girl?
She had the run of the household and even popped next door to see the neighbours. Before long, Ruby, the biggest marmoset the park has ever had, found a friend in Oscar, the smallest. Other new arrivals this year included Dino the Capuchin, who had never met a female Capuchin before, but settled happily with male Winslow and 4 girls. Azzy the squirrel monkey arrived from Wales and moved in with the other squirrel monkeys, plus Jethro the Saki monkey, who shares their enclosure.
Oh, hello.
And there was a surprise arrival for Jethro, female Saki Chloe from France. But love was not on the menu. Chloe was up for a tete-a-tete, but Jethro's not the romantic type. Sadly, there have been some goodbyes at the park too, including elderly squirrel monkey Samantha and dominant male woolly monkey Oscar, dad to newly born little Olivia, and chimp Tico, Hananya's second in command. It was a big shock when he died of a heart attack, but the group soon settled down again, helped by the presence of baby Thelma, whose antics mean there's always fun to be had. A chimp was at the centre of an extraordinary medical operation when Lola had her sight restored after it was discovered she had cataracts.
We'll be doing the right eye.
The operation was a real success.
Fantastic, thank you everyone.
So much so that next in line was Gibbon Ella.
That's just about as hard a cataract as it's possible to do, that is.
All in all, it's been a busy year for the park's primates.
OK, you have that bit then.
And their carers.
Good boy.
But the work of the team at Monkey World is never finished. There are still more primates around the world needing help and a home. And the park's role as European creche for orphaned orangutans is due to come into play again in the very near future. Little Lauren from Russia will hopefully arrive soon to join Rieke and Bulu and the other youngsters in the Orang nursery.